Hey everyone, it's me, Myra Flesner, and that's you. Did I just punch you in the boob? I think I did.
I am Eric Wenzel. This is Flesner Wenzel, and we are here to talk to you about how to hire a lawyer that is us or that is not us. May
But
or may
preferably,
not be.
that is us. No?
I mean, depends on if they suck. Do you suck? Don't hire us. Okay.
If you're crazy, go somewhere else.
But seriously, we're going to talk about a couple things that don't matter when you're looking for a lawyer, and a couple things that do matter and that you should consider when looking for a lawyer. However, first, because lawyers are complicated creatures, I am going to read you a legal disclaimer. Please listen to all of it. The materials available at this website are for informational purposes only and are not for the purpose of providing legal advice. You should contact your attorney, which could be us or could not be us, in order to obtain advice with respect to any particular issue or problem. Myra is licensed in the state of Missouri. I am licensed in the states of Missouri and Illinois. Corinne Brown, another attorney in our office, is licensed in the states of Missouri or Illinois. So nobody in this damn office is purporting to give any legal advice for any states other than Missouri and or Illinois, and we can't give any information that's specific to you unless we have talked to you. You have become our client. We've had a chance to read everything. Also, the choice of a lawyer is important and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Also, use and access to this website or any of the email links contained or other links contained within the site do not create an attorney-client relationship between Flesner Wenzel and the user or browser. The opinions expressed at or through this site are the opinions of the individual author, aka us, who are Flesner and Wenzel, and may not reflect the opinions of the firm or any individual attorney, even the attorney speaking.
P.S. This is only for educational and informational purposes. I don't care. I'm just saying. That was really long-winded. I stopped listening after, part of it. So I'm assuming y'all did too. You're welcome. Okay? All right. So how do you pick an attorney? Okay. So 4 things that don't actually matter when you pick an attorney. Okay? And the first one is going to be...
how long they've been doing this.
Yes.
So you will often see on websites, I've been doing this for 30 years, or I've been doing this for 35 years. 35 is a specific one to me, because we had an attorney scream a bunch of times at us on a case, I've been doing this for 35 years, and then the judge said, well, you've been doing it wrong for 35 years, so maybe you ought to not do that anymore. And then the attorney got really pissed off and took it to the Court of Appeals, who didn't do anything with it because they agreed with the judge. So in conclusion, you can do things for a really long time and do them wrong. So that is not a factor that you should look at. What you should look at out of that is how much relevant experience do they have doing things that you want them to do and doing them well. There are a lot of people out there that have just run a law firm sending out sassy letters for 30 years and accepting whatever amount of money comes back in response to the sassy letters. That's not what you want unless you want somebody to just do that for you. So
the second thing that we don't think matters is the cost of the lawyer. Obviously, cost is important when trying to figure out who you want to hire, but just because a lawyer is expensive or a law firm is expensive doesn't mean that they're better than any other or cheaper or less expensive lawyer or law firm. I think our firm is fairly expensive hourly wise, but we also provide payment plan options and things like that to help our clients. But that doesn't mean we're better or worse than anyone else just because of our prices.
Right. So what you should get out of that is if you and your soon-to-be ex are sitting down and one of you says, well, my lawyer's $400 an hour, and the other one says, well, my lawyer's $225, that means one of you will probably, but not 100%, have lower fees than the other because the $225 person might bill you crazy. And it does not mean that the $400 an hour person is better than the $225 person. It's just based on how attorneys have decided to bill themselves. So don't get caught up in that crap.
Right. And sometimes I know that there is at least one law firm out there that does flat fee divorces. I'm just saying that particular type of law because that's primarily what we practice in. But and that's not to say that that's worse or better. It's just sometimes when you're flat feed, you bill way higher. Sometimes you're lower. So it just kind of depends.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that is on our list of things to talk about is fancy law firm names. So do not believe that if you go to a fancy law firm that advertises on, the radio or on TV, or you see this person on a morning show every morning, or you've seen them, on a national ad at the Super Bowl, do not think that that means that they're a better law firm. They might be a good law firm. They might be a crappy law firm. It doesn't mean anything except for that they're willing to spend the money on that sort of budgetary issue for marketing. And ultimately what it means is you as the client are going to be paying for that marketing. So keep in mind that if you want somebody that everybody knows about, you may be interested to know what other lawyers think about that firm as opposed to people in the general population, and maybe you should ask somebody before thinking that it's going to terrify me that you're going to hire XYZ big law firm, because I don't care usually.
Yeah. And that's not to say, again, that, like, that law firm is terrible or anything like that. It has nothing to do with the quality of work that they do, or specifically even, like, big name firms. Usually that, like, person that created the law firm with that name in there is actually a pretty good attorney. We have a big name law firm to represent us on certain things for the business, so we're not saying it's good or bad. It's just that that's not the only thing that should get you to hire a law firm. You should look at other things, not just the name.
And number 4, you should talk to whoever you're talking to for the consultation and ask, are they the person that is going to be doing your case? So if you go to a big law firm, some big law firms have a person that's just a consultation attorney. So you may go in, sit down with them, hear from them about a bunch of things that sound good to you, get a good vibe from them, hire them, and immediately get dropped onto somebody else's desk that you've never met before. If you're not down for that, you might want to ask them the question, hey, who is going to actually represent me? Or am I ever going to see you again? Because you might not. And unfortunately, I have found when I've talked to people that have talked to a consultation attorney, a lot of times they say that the consultation attorney promised them stuff that turned out not to be true. Well, if your entire job is to do consults, A, your entire job is sales, you're not an attorney, you're a salesman with a little bit of legal knowledge, and B, I give 1 finger for A, so I'll give 2 fingers for B. B, if you are a consultation attorney, then you don't go to court because all you do is sell people in the boardroom every day. So you might want to think about that, because if you don't have any actual experience, you don't have any idea what's reasonable to ask for or what you might likely get, and it might lead you down a bad path.
Okay, things you do want to look for when trying to pick out a lawyer. Okay, so first thing is going to be communication. You want to ask the attorney how they communicate with their clients and whether or not that's going to be something that works for you.
So for example, in our office, there is somebody here to pick up the phones when the office is open. Cool. It's not necessarily going to be a lawyer, but you need to be aware of what's a reasonable expectation. It's not necessarily reasonable to expect you get me on the phone every time you call for me, because sometimes I go to court because I do legal work, and that's how that works. But we have people to pick up the phones. We also have a Facebook Messenger built into our website. We also have mycase.com, which is a portal so that you can send secure messages. People also email us. Some of our clients text message with us. You want to look at asking these people, how often am I going to be able to communicate with you? How often is reasonable to communicate with you? How often do you respond to things? And how do you communicate? Because if they have a system in place to make sure they communicate with you appropriately, then you probably are in a better place than if they just go, oh yeah, shoot me an email and I'll respond to you.
Communication is really important. That's the most common complaint
Against lawyers, yeah.
Like if you want to file a bar complaint, that's generally what it's going to probably be under, because you should know what's going on with your case. And like, I know that you said this, but I wasn't paying that much attention. But because I was doing important legal work over here.
She never is.
You should get an answer to your question, like, within a decent time frame. So, sometime, whether it's from the attorney or, like, an admin, you should be getting your question answered.
And there should be some way to communicate with the office if there's a damn emergency. If somebody's taken your kid and fled the state, me responding 3 days later via email is not very helpful. So, of course, you should call my office and say, hey, somebody stole my kid and fled the state. So that even if I'm in court, somebody knows to get a hold of me, because it is important. And I think the response time that's appropriate really varies as to what it is. If you're calling at 3 a.m. to say you found out that your soon-to-be ex-husband took the photo albums, fuck you. Because that was rude.
Yep.
And it was not appropriate to call me at 3 a.m. about that, because there's nothing I can do at 3 a.m. actively.
Moving forward. Okay, so the second thing that's important to look at would be
reasonable expectations, okay? So, you should be able to ask your lawyer things like, how long is this going to take? and they shouldn't tell you what will be done in 3 months unless it's something very small, right? So if your lawyer says it depends on how much the other side fights with you, it could take 3 months, it could take 2 years, that's a reasonable range. If they ask some questions to nail that down, you know, like, oh, are they going to fight with you a lot? Okay, well, you're probably looking 1.5 years, 2 years based on, like, how the local court goes. That's something that you want to look into. You know, like, you want to, like, view favorably as somebody giving you a realistic answer that you don't like about how long it's going to be is better for you than somebody giving you a unrealistic answer that you do like to set you up for false expectations. Somebody that tells you that everything you do is awesome and exactly what you should be doing is probably not telling you the truth. There are times when Myra and I yell at our clients. There are times that we send them strongly worded messages because they have got to stop doing various things. So if your lawyer's not willing to be honest with you and give you reasonable expectations about what to expect in the process, what the steps look like, how we're going to move you from point A to point B, it's basically a roadmap. Like, do they really know where they're going here? And can they tell you what it is? So, because a lot of times lawyers will refuse to tell you what they would do next because they're trying to withhold information from you because they think that you are going to take all of our information out of our brain and use it and do it yourself, and they don't want to give you all the information because they're afraid you will go do it yourself, but the reality is usually you can't do it yourself.
The attorney, when you first meet them, should give you information.
There you go.
Like Erica was saying, you cannot get in my brain. Like, no matter how much information I give you, even if I'm, like, literally telling you the steps to do it, you can't do it. Like, I'm awesome. Erica's awesome. At least these 2 lawyers right here are awesome. So you can't go do exactly what I can do. Like, you just can't. Like, we went to school and we've been practicing for so long that there are just certain things that we can get done that you can't. Believe me, there are some people out there that can write really good motions, that can do a lot of things on their own, but ultimately there are some things you just can't do that a lawyer can do. I have no problem with telling people how to get, like, go on the Missouri Supreme Court website, for example, to get forms. Like, go try to represent yourself. Like, I totally understand, and Erica gets it too, that it's expensive to hire a lawyer. Like, we totally get it. Now, whether or not you should go on your own to represent yourself or hire a lawyer is a completely separate question from what we're discussing today. And, like, comment below if you want us to talk about that. But information, like, I will specifically tell you, and so will Erica, like, hire us, don't hire us, but these are the motions that I would probably file. This is how I would do it. This is my time frame. You know, and we will give you a good guesstimate as to, like, how long we think each step will take. But for the most part, if, like, the lawyer's not willing to tell you what they're going to do, or they're afraid of giving you a lot of information, like, all of your questions should be answered when you go meet with the attorney or if you're on the phone with them. You should leave that consultation like you have way more information and you can make a really good decision based on what the lawyer's told you. Not just like, oh, well, I guess I should do this, or I guess I should do that. So, yeah.
Right. In conclusion, it doesn't matter how much they bill, how fancy their name is, if you like the person that does the consult when they're not going to actually be your lawyer, or there's a fourth one.
Experience.
The number of years of experience.
Right.
Right. Okay. It does matter whether the person wants to communicate with you, will be honest, give you information, and set reasonable expectations. So those are the things that you need to kind of take a look at, ask the right questions to get at.
But anyway, back to the whole thing of the video. So those are the 3 things on how to pick a lawyer if you're going to hire a lawyer, and we will be doing more things. If you have any other topics that you want us to cover, comment that below. If you have any questions and we don't think that they're requiring legal advice, we will try to answer them if you comment down below. Like and subscribe to our page because we will be doing more of these, so they're going to keep coming. We might be filming these in a row, so we'll be wearing the exact same thing, so don't judge us for that, okay?
Nope.
And then also our disclaimers on the bottom as well because we don't want to get sued. Okay, bye.
Where's your written out list? Is that it?
No.
What did you do with it?
Fuck. think I took them home. Because I was gonna work on them.
Go ahead. We'll start this video. That was my quotes finger just low down here, not a rabbit across the bottom of the screen.
Was it asking the question about how long it would take, or getting a realistic?
Honesty. That's what we look
Yeah,
for.
but that's not. That was like the third one. That was like that's like the most important thing to focus on when you're talking to an attorney is like honesty. But that wasn't the second. That was like the last thing, and I can't remember the third thing.
So here's the deal. We made this video last week, and then somehow Myra's phone deleted the recording, and now we don't have our notes. So
'Cause
leave it to
they're a mess.
us to think about the 3 negative things and have all of those, in fact, 4 negative things and
No,
one of the
it was
positive
4 things about like not the 4 things we got.
right, and then that's what I'm saying. We focused on the negative. We didn't
Yeah.
accentuate the positive. Eliminate. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Okay, there's 3 things, right? Did we talk about that? Okay, 3 things. 3 fingers, or if you're European, 3 fingers.
Okay.
Cut